put some makeup to the test. Yeah, got some nail stuff. Yeah, and some vlogs. Yeah, put them up. Hey, so you can watch. You know what? I just have to admit it and come out with the truth. I'm so sorry, you guys, but I am secretly a lyricist and an award-winning record producer who's capable of producing your next smash hit single. So just be sure to email me at hello@youkeyy.com. My publicist will forward that email over to me and we can discuss how I can get you to the top of the Billboard charts within just hours. Hello, if you've never seen me before, hi, my name is Youkeyy, and if you are a returning subscriber, welcome back. Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. Welcome to another edition of You Tried It, where I try out different products for you guys. I give you the lowdown, I do wear tests, all of that good stuff. For those of you who have expressed concerns, yes, I am still doing makeup tutorials and nail tutorials, so do not fret. All is well. Why is there so much noise? Why is there so much noise right now? I was very shocked when I got this package in the mail, not realizing that was actually for me because I passed by it for like 2 days and it was this huge box and I opened it up and I realized, oh my God, it's from LA Girl and it's their full range of their new foundations. I had no idea these foundations were actually coming out. I don't get much PR, but the little bit that I do get, it's like 1 or 2 products here and there, and I'm very grateful for that. But the fact that they send me this entire range is super shocking to me, and it's funny because I still see myself as that really small creator who was struggling to get 1,000 subscribers. So to get a full range of something is I'm grateful. I feel very grateful and very blessed. So thank you so much to LA Girl for sending me this. However, it does not change the fact that I'm still going to be very objective with this review and showing you guys how it operates, how it works, the shade range, the wear test, coverage, all that good stuff. I put up a poll on Instagram asking you guys if you wanted to see it, and a whopping 94% of you said yes. So that is why I am here today. So the full name is the LA Girl Pro Matte HD High Definition Long Wear Matte Foundation. It says here that it's a medium to full coverage, long-lasting formula, and a soft suede matte finish. This is the box. It's quite large. So here's what the range looks like. Initially, when I filmed what the range looks, it came with an angled buffer brush and a blending sponge. The sponge is very similar to the Real Technique sponge, being that it is slanted at the base of the sponge and is comes up to a tip up at the top. When I was opening up the package, I was really excited to see a full range, and then I looked towards the darker complexions and I'm like, wait a minute. So yeah, I don't think, no. It just seems to not run dark enough. I try to take into account that the frosted packaging will make the shades look a little bit lighter than they really are. However, frosted packaging being taken into consideration, it doesn't run dark enough. They are $10 each per the LA Girl website, and there are 14 shades. You have 1 fluid ounce or 30 mLs of product in it. And yes, I'm going to say mLs, not milliliters, because mLs is what I'm used to. If you have a problem with mLs, never step foot into a hospital, because that is what we say almost religiously. So just putting that out there. So I went on the LA Girl website and I just decided to compare this current shade range to the shade range of their previous foundation, the Illuminating Foundation. Now, their Illuminating Foundation line has 16 shades in it. One of them is pure white, so you can use that to lighten up any foundation shades that you have. And they also have a darker looking shade. That's the darkest foundation shade in that line. The name of that color is called Dark Chocolate, and I know on the website it's going to look completely different than what it looks like in real life. Looking at this full product line from what they sent me, I was a little bit confused because I was like, wait a minute, where is the gradient? But it's because they have certain foundations positioned in certain places, I think maybe due to undertones. I'm not sure if they're going to be expanding this line as far as the shade range goes. If you're going to have 16 shades in a previous foundation, you might as well make 16 on this one as well. For a $10 product and what I consider to be a drugstore line, this feels luxurious in the hand, and I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that the product itself comes in a frosted glass bottle. Now, when you look at it, it does look very sleek, and that's because the cover itself is matte. However, the pump and the surrounding parts around it are made out of this black shiny plastic. In contrast with the matte cover, it makes it look very sleek because now you have what appears to be a shiny rim near a matte cover alongside a frosted glass bottle. This makes her look a little bit more bougie. The 2 darkest colors are nutmeg and cappuccino, or a little bit of a pump. Oh my God. I just mistakenly did a drop test and she is still intact. Thank God. Okay, so I'm just gonna take a little bit of cafe. Oh, well, okay. That's not my color. All right, back into the box you go. Next color is called Caramel, and it's, I guess, supposed to be lighter than Cafe. Whatever, the blending is not going to be perfect, but I just don't want, you know, a product just sitting there. The next lightest color, according to the way they positioned all the products in the package, is Golden Bronze. Take this further out because I'm not understanding. These two are definite no, so I'm going to wipe off this side and then test out the two darkest products over on this side of my face. So this is Nutmeg. I'm really tempted to use Nutmeg, but it's not the correct undertone for me. I feel like I could pass for Nutmeg, it's just the wrong undertone, but using concealer would kind of help to balance it out. And that Golden Bronze is just going to look way too light on me and I might end up looking quite pasty. I want to see what Cappuccino looks like. Wow, I think Cappuccino might be my color. I'm not shocked per se that I have the deepest shade. I'm shocked that they made my skin tone the deepest shade, knowing that there are so many different people who have much deeper skin tones than I do. So if you're darker than me, you wouldn't be able to have your shade in this range. That's surprising. I'm gonna use their brush on one side of my face and their sponge on the other side and see what this wears like. Yeah, I think Cappuccino was probably the best bet for me just because I feel like everything else would have looked a little too light or too cool toned. I like the brush. I really like the brush. Wait, how much is the brush? That's what I didn't even check. Oh, I'll check it little big. Cappuccino is a tad bit darker, but I feel like it works well for me. I always let you guys know in these videos that I do have dry skin, but so far this foundation looks very beautiful. It is buildable. I do like full coverage. So I'm gonna take the sponge and apply it on the other side. I'm starting off with 2 pumps. I'm just gonna kind of splotch this wherever. Don't judge me. I normally do not use a sponge to apply my foundation. So very, very blendable, super blendable. I've used about maybe a little bit over half of the 2 pumps that I squirted out of the foundation. Anyways, depending on the amount of coverage that you want from this foundation, you could easily get away with using 1 pump for each side of your face, which is a total of 2 pumps. I'm usually pretty wary of using sponges for foundation application and blending, but this doesn't seem to be soaking up a whole ton of product, so pretty cool. The sponge is pretty soft. It's not as like bouncy as I would like, but then again, makeup application sponges, all of that just depends on user preference and whether or not you want a harder sponge or a softer sponge or whatever. There are certain spots where I have to go in with a bit more foundation just because some of my hyperpigmentation is peeking through. I like the formula. This is nice. It's matte, but it's not drying. So as I'm looking at this already, it has oxidized. I'm gonna apply the rest of my makeup, leave things relatively bare. As of right now, the time is currently 8:28 p.m. Now that everything has come together, I do feel like Cappuccino had the highest probability of suiting me the best, but I'm not sure Nutmeg was that much of a better choice. I just don't think this foundation range necessarily really has my color. I just have to learn to work it like, you know, most of us do. The finish of this foundation looks absolutely beautiful. It looks very nice on the skin. It feels good on the skin. The foundation wasn't super watery, but I did notice that some of the colors were coming out of the pump more creamy than others. So I already told you guys what time it was earlier. I will talk to you in a few hours. I wanted to initially do an 8-hour wear test for this, but depending on what time I start to feel sleepy, I will come back and just let you guys know how things went. So yeah, I'll see you in a little bit. I'm now back. The time is currently 4:14 a.m. I believe we're about 10-15 minutes shy of 8 hours. When I initially applied this foundation, I thought it looked so beautiful, especially looking at my monitor. So by the time I was done applying the rest of the products onto my face, I noticed that my face looked significantly darker, and I was kind of second guessing myself a little bit, like, wait a minute, what's going on here? But I went back and took a look at the clips and realized that indeed it had oxidized a lot because it looked so different from when I was initially applying it. But had I known that this foundation was going to oxidize the way it did, I probably would have mixed 2 foundation colors to be able to get my own color. Again, I didn't really do much since having this foundation on. watched a few YouTube videos. I ended up kind of falling asleep for a little bit, took a bit of a nap, maybe like an hour, hour and a half. And I didn't actually set an alarm, but somehow my brain knew to wake me up several times during that nap because I was like, oh, I gotta take this makeup off my face. I gotta film this check-in. So I'm finally here. However, I am curious to see what this foundation would have looked like had I not fallen asleep and taken that nap, because sometimes after taking a nap or after being asleep for maybe 6-8 hours, sometimes the skin can produce more oil. And I'm definitely noticing that near the nose, a little bit on the chin as well. It may not be that big of a difference, but I do think it might be a tad bit less shiny if I had not fallen asleep. But what can you do? I'm only human. When my body wants to rest, I let it rest. This foundation actually held up pretty nicely. As I mentioned to you guys, I do have dry skin. However, several hours into the wear time of any face product, my face does start to have a bit of that dewy glow. Not necessarily oil slick, but a glow nonetheless. Even though this foundation held up pretty well, I do feel like my smile lines are a little bit more noticeable compared to what several hours of wear time looks like with my other soft matte foundations. And my final thoughts on the brush, I like the brush a lot. I'm definitely going to be using it. I surprisingly also like the sponge. It's not really hard, but I feel like it could be a bit softer. However, it blended out my foundation beautifully. I also used it to blend out my concealer, bridge of the nose, above the lip, underneath the eyes, all of that, and it worked really well. So I'm definitely going to be using that blending sponge again. So just a quick breakdown of the pros and cons. The pros are that it's very cost effective. Love the fact that it's only $10 based on the LA Girl website. However, I do notice that with a lot of their products, it tends to be a little bit more expensive on their site than it is whenever you go in stores to, let's say, I don't know, Ulta or beauty supply stores. Fair coverage, very smooth. When you go in to blend it out, it just kind of glides onto the skin. I also noticed that the foundation didn't make my pores stand out a lot. It really smoothened out my texture, which is something I'm always here for. You know, my pores were not put on blast or anything like that. Overall, I do feel like this foundation definitely worked well for me, especially as somebody who has dry skin. I do feel I was still able to get several benefits from it. Again, I did mention that cappuccino oxidized, and even though it oxidized, I could actually get away with using this as a foundation color. All it would take is for me to use a lighter concealer color to highlight than what I normally use. As I've mentioned throughout the entirety of this video, the con of this foundation is the shade range. I do feel that they did a good job in capturing different undertones. However, it was pretty lackluster on the deeper end of the spectrum. I did have some time to kind of look over the foundation range, rearrange things just to see what the progression of shades was like. And I definitely do feel that there is a huge jump from the mid-tone colors to the deepest colors. I don't really think LA Girl is known for their foundations. They're more known for their concealers. Maybe their illuminating foundation like right after that. I'm not expecting LA Girl to launch a foundation line with, 30 shades straight out of the gate. All I'm saying is that people with much deeper skin tones need more than just 2 choices of foundation colors. Given the limited shades as far as the deeper complexions and kind of a little bit in the mid-tone complexions as well, it does make me feel disappointed, especially for a product that I personally feel is good. It makes me feel disappointed knowing that not everybody watching this video would be able to get a color that matches them. Ooh, that was a lot of talking. Okay, so thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, please do not forget to give it a big thumbs up and also comment down below in the comment section to let me know what you think. If you're not subscribed to my channel, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, hit the notification bell to get all notifications so you never miss an upload from me. If you're not following me on social media, I'm on Facebook, Twitter, Snapchat. I'm also on Instagram. Be sure that once you follow me on Instagram, you do turn on post notifications so you never miss any of my posts. Thank you once again for watching, and I hope to see you in the next one, Lord willing. Stay blessed. Bye.